It's time for this week's parting shots.
Here's my question for the New York Jets. Now what? You won a game. Congrats? In a few years, will anyone remember that you beat the Rams in Week 15 of an embarrassing season? No. Want to know why? Because everyone will be talking about how you cost yourself the first pick in the draft. And not just any number one pick. We're talking about a golden ticket to a prospect experts have described as transcendent, the type of quarterback we haven't seen since Andrew Luck. If Trevor Lawrence really is that good, then squandering the chance to secure him is probably the jetsiest thing I've ever seen. Now, I get it. There are fans who can't stomach rooting against their team. And Sam Darnold is trying to avoid being labeled a bust, and Frank Gore didn't want to cap his career with an 0-16. But none of that matters. Not when you're talking about the future of a franchise that hasn't won a Super Bowl in 5 decades, a franchise that has failed to find the guy at QB, a franchise that hits reset every time it cycles through another head coach. So what's the difference between 0-16 and 1-15? Gore won't be here next year, and neither should Darnold or Adam Gase. You know who else might not be wearing green next year? Trevor Lawrence. All because of a meaningless December game.
'Twas a signature week for the playoff hopeful Washington football team in all the wrong ways. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins apologized on Twitter after photos surfaced of him partying with friends and strippers at a private event unmasked after last Sunday's loss to Seattle. This second COVID protocol's violation stripped him of his captainship. Haskins, who was benched earlier this season after reportedly bragging about his performance in a loss to Baltimore, is a reminder of one of life's most important lessons. That having a friend who'll tell you, "This ain't it, bro. Don't self-sabotage your legacy," is vital, but applying it is even more so. Then there's the news about the football team's top leadership. At least 40 women this summer came forward with stories of sexual harassment by team officials. Meanwhile, Washington is currently under investigation for its treatment of women in the organization. This latest claim involving team owner Dan Snyder via a 2009 settlement for $1.6 million. One his business partner said in a filing was a serious accusation of sexual misconduct. Since buying the team in 1999, Snyder's regime is defined by dysfunction and moral corruption more than on-the-field production, earning just 3 double-digit win seasons in his tenure. Yet Haskins bore the brunt of the backlash trending on social media this week. What he did is indeed selfish, and the marriage between hometown kid and team feels a lot closer to divorce than reconciliation. But the culture under Snyder is grotesque, and there's a difference between selfish and grotesque, though it's hard to tell by the discussion sometimes.
The other night, when the Lakers were presented their rings, 2020 style, socially distanced on little pedestals, not with the customary handshake from the owner, I was thinking about the legitimacy of this championship. I was thinking about LeBron and his 4th title, and the Lakers and, what is it now, their 17th, tied with the Celtics for the most ever. I know that in some quarters it has been suggested that what happened in 2020 should stay in 2020 or something like that. That these strange truncated seasons in basketball and everywhere else weren't entirely valid. That the MVP awards and batting titles and all that stuff from the field to the court to the rink shouldn't really count. But you know what? That's wrong. Yes, of course, 2020 was different. And yes, no one had to endure the challenges of a full-length season. But the challenges that were faced, what was overcome, and what it meant to us to have the games to watch, well, if anything, it makes these the ultimate titles. So I don't want to hear, ever, that there should be some asterisk attached to these championships, unless it's to denote that these championships meant more, signified more, were truer tests of excellence and resilience. To triumph in 2020, not only against the field, but in the face of so much adversity, that's what playing like a champion is all about. Don't tell me, don't tell LeBron that these titles are anything less. No, they are more.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.